life on campaigns are dramatized and glorified in a way that's just totally not consistent with reality. That like campaign life is pretty fucking miserable for everyone.
Are we allowed to say the F word?
We're allowed. We've said it several times in the last one. It's not. It's
Huffington.
It's HBO. No,
Okay,
I think.
I know. I'm just.
Yeah, you can F-bomb if you want. Don't worry. You've been on a few trails.
I have.
How bad is it?
I'm going to try to hold back on the F-bombs, though, for now. You know, when I covered Obama in 2008, I wasn't a completely embedded reporter, but I would go on, maybe on for 2 weeks or 3 weeks and then off and then back on again. And there used to be regular stops at Target because people would run out of underwear. We have to run in and buy clean underwear and just throw out the old stuff and keep going.
I have a good story about that.
That is the most.
At one point...
And he's like, I found a box of dirty underwear.
Exactly. Dear God, may it never get that low for anybody. At one point... one of my colleagues on the campaign trail, Christina Bellantoni, and I were traveling a lot together on the Obama campaign. We ended up at Target, and they'd be like, all right, you got 20 minutes. Like, everyone go get whatever you need, and we'll meet back at the bus. So it was like supermarket sweep. We're grabbing stuff, and, like, oh, look at these, Massimo pants, like, whatever. And so we all get back on the bus, and we start comparing notes on what we've got. And I've got this, it was Halloween, I remember. I had this orange sweater with a V-neck. It was like $10. And she had this red one, and it matched. And we pulled stuff out. We realized we had like almost the exact same clothes, but in slightly different colors. And then, and we sort of look alike. At the time, she was with the Washington Times, and at the time, I was at McClatchy. So there's a point to the story.
No,
so
keep going.
Obama gets elected, and there's like the transition news conference where John Podesta comes out and whatever.
Yeah.
So Bellantoni's sitting like a seat in front of me, and I'm sitting behind her in this room with all these reporters most of whom are going to go on to cover President Obama.
Yeah.
And she gets like an email from her mom. And the email says, you look great, but what's the deal with those purple glasses? I've never seen them before.
Oh, she mistook you.
It was you.
Wearing our matching Target outfits.
Oh my God.
Yes, we were. Anyway, that's like about as, highbrow as it gets on the trail, right? There's karaoke, 4 hours of sleep, you're buying your underpants at Target. The whole thing is just you're flying by the seat of your pants.
What's the normal meal you get?
Before we go to that, though, I have to jump in because I have a Target pants story that's awesome. So this was when we were in your home state of Connecticut on the Ned Lamont bus tour, and we did the bus tour, and it sucks, and everybody's tired.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the only people that ever love bus tours are the candidates because they get to seat and they sit on the bus, and they don't have to do all the work to do it.
Yeah.
So the bus tour ends, and he's like, "This is great, let's keep going." And we're like, "What?" So the advanced staff didn't go to sleep, and they just started driving, looking for places to go. And me and a bunch of staff were like, "Well, we need clothes," so we went to Target, and the only pants they had these stretchy, elastic waist things on the side for semi-fat people. But the key to the story is I got them, and they were awesome. And for 2 years afterwards, I used to wear them all the time until my girlfriend made me throw them out.
You threw them out?
Yeah,
I should've
forcibly.
kept
I
them.
know.
We should have worn them.
I wish you were wearing them right now.
I would if I had them. I'd throw them out.
I gained a ton of weight covering that campaign.
You must. I mean, you eat shit. The campaigns give you the food, but it's just not healthy.
There's always food because by now, hopefully, most campaigns, with the exception of a couple days I spent with Romney in 2012, have learned to constantly feed the press to keep us appeased and sort of.
Did Romney not feed the press?
Well, there were a couple times I was slightly hungry.
wonder
It's
they
fine.
got
It's fine. And so they're just putting cookies and stuff in front of you, and you never know when you're going to eat again, so you eat it. I mean, and then it's bad. It's just bad.
Do you ever get exercise? That's impossible.
Some people do. Really disciplined people will get up at 5 in the morning and work out.
That's so anyone here.
It's true. Now, now, if you're covering Obama gets up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning and goes to the gym, as we all saw, thanks to some Polish guy, right? So, or is that where that was? So,
I think it was.
there was a time when some reporters would try to get up early and go to be in the gym when Obama was in the gym, but you learn very quickly, he doesn't want to be bothered in the gym. You're not going to bother him. Or you try to time your workout separately so that neither he nor the entire Secret Service sees how flabby you look. Tank top at 6 in the morning. But so those are your choices if you're on the trail, right? Get up at 5 a.m. and, drink tea and abstain from all fatty foods and, bring your own carrot sticks, or just roll with it and try to fix it after the fact. I mean, nobody looks as good at the end of a campaign.
All right, well, let's play this game. What was the lowest moment that you can remember on any campaign you were covering or worked on? I have one, but I'm going to say mine because it's a little offensive.
I think I've had two really terrible presidential campaigns. You've had a bad one too, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pick. But McCain 08, my lowest point. This will tell you how bad McCain 08 was when they fired everybody in June of 07. I was begging to get fired. Like, I wanted to get fired so bad. I was so sick of that campaign. I was ready to be off it. We were in last place, and
This is the primary for
primary. Back and for folks who forget that in like May of 07, right? McCain was supposed to be the front runner and immediately gone to last place. Fred Thompson's about to get in, and the staff is hemorrhaging money. And I'm out in Iowa, and they call a staff meeting in Iowa, and they said we're going to have to fire some people. We built too big of a staff. We don't have the money. And everybody's going to have to go into the campaign manager's office one at a time. And I got pulled into Matt's office, and I sat down, and Matt Strawn, who was then the Iowa GOP chairman last cycle, and Matt looks across the table at me and he says, "Tim, only one of us in here has a job. You." I was like, oh no!
That was your low point.
Are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
The low point was actually staying employed.
Maintaining the job.
You could have fired yourself at that point, though, since you were the only guy with a job.
Exactly.
Why did they choose you?
They, for whatever reason, the
hell were
people
they
I know in Arlington at the headquarters decided we needed an Iowa comms person still, even though he didn't even end up really competing in Iowa.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. So that was my worst one. And the worst one on Huntsman was we had again fired a bunch of people in Orlando. Dan Balls, when he was writing his book, emailed me. He's like, "Would you tell me one quick story that encapsulates the campaign?" I said, "No problem." We leave Orlando. We did the summer in Orlando, and then we moved to New Hampshire for the winter to, have our little team,
But you were
our
based
final
in
fight.
Florida first?
Yeah, initially we were based in Orlando. So we fired a bunch of people, a smaller group moved to New Hampshire. It was a one-state strategy. I moved from Florida. The weather was just getting nice there. I landed in New Hampshire. The first night I move into the house with a couple of my buddies on the campaign. We have a couple beers, starts to snow. 3 hours later, the electricity goes out. We lost electricity for a week. For an entire week. So I had moved to New Hampshire. It was our kind of second wind. We were ready. It was the Huntsman comeback tour, and we were homeless for a week. And I thought that kind of really encapsulated the whole campaign.
What did you do for a living situation?
5 of us lived in one guy's apartment in Manchester. It was a one-bedroom apartment.
That is.
There were five guys. There was spooning. We had the pillows. We had the pillows in between, head to toe. Head to toe. Sometimes you'd wake up spooning, man.
They went to Target and bought some stretchy pants to cover themselves.
So there you go.
You can gain
Oh my God!
They're so bad. I will defend the stretchy pants till the end.
Beat that with a real Hunter story, Eddie. Come on.
So I think my worst, obviously, you have to do the Edwards one. I think is probably like after God knows how many months of fighting it off that the National Enquirer story is coming, and that I was standing in like downtown Manchester in a snowstorm at like 4 or 5 a.m. waiting for like the National Enquirer truck to pull up at CVS so I could get my copy fresh off the press. And
I was looking for the same. I knew it was coming too, because I had reported on it. I knew they had told me that it was coming.
It's coming, yeah.
Wait, were you there to buy all of them and throw them out, or?
There was no point in that part. It was just like.
Did you wait up all night, or did you set an early alarm?
Actually, that would have been pretty ambitious.
Pretty sure. I think we were out drinking late, and I think I did like the hour or two power nap, and then pop back up to go wait for the Enquirer.
And who did you call once you got it?
But Margaret brings up a good point. If he was on his game, he would have sent interns across the state to every newsstand just to buy all, burn them all. You'll never hear about this. There's no thing as the internet.
So, part of the fun of being on the campaign trail is hanging out with everyone, all of the reporters and all of the staffers. But you have to balance not drinking too much and getting enough sleep with everything else.
Not drinking too
much? And the conventions are especially fun.
Here we go, man.
Where there's not a lot of news going on. And I just remember during the conventions, I didn't get a lot of sleep. I'm talking.
Which convention?
Well, both of them. This story is about the Democratic one, which was the second one. So I was really tired. Charlotte. So I was really tired by that time. There was a lot of fun. I have to say the parties were more fun at the Democratic one. Not really surprising. Not surprising.
I disagree. Why?
Not surprising. Anyway.
Don't worry about it.
But I was, had a little bit to drink the night before, very tired, and tried to come down the next morning because everyone was running late for their flight, and I had to alert everyone. And I fell down the stairs. I still have a scar.
God. That is a bad campaign.
Fell down the stairs along with my luggage.
Wait, your bags too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
bad.
had a little scar. Everyone was asleep, but luckily it woke everyone up, and we made our flight.
Pretty early in the morning, yeah. So we had everything was booked in the city. Like when we wanted to buy a hotel, we got a hotel. I think a 45-minute cab ride out of the city was awful. And at the time, as you probably can both remember, there was a mad dash to figure out who the hell Sarah Palin was.
Yeah, there was that like first flight or two to Alaska was like every reporter, researcher was
well, we didn't bother going to Anchorage, but we were
Wasilla.
Can you fly directly into Wasilla or no?
You would know better than me.
Anyway, so we were doing an extensive, really extensive, internet search, just trying to find whatever we could. And it was me and Nico Pitney, who was at the time the editor of the politics page, and we were in this hotel room, 45 minutes outside of St. Paul, Minneapolis. And it was really depressing. Like, there was no one actually there for the convention. It was so far out. But we were looking through this internet archive of the church she went to. And we were trying to, just look at these sermons to figure... At the time, Reverend Wright was a big thing. So we were saying, okay, well, if this is fair game, let's look at what she's got. And we're doing this incredibly extensive video archive search in Nico's hotel room at this hotel. And in the room next door to us, a couple was having the most inappropriately loud sex the entire time.
So bad. Where is this going?
Oh my God, they were just going at it, and it was so impossible.
This is your worst campaign trail story?
Well, it's one of the worst.
You should have spent more time with the Huntsman campaign.